The Godox V1 Mid makes like look very natural. I want to start with that right away. So instead of reading spec sheets, like always on this channel, I will test it in different scenarios to see if it lives up the expectation, and I'll go through all the features after that. Of course, we'll see who can benefit from this flash and what is his strengths and weak points. I will start with some action shots, I will use it as a field flash, and finally I will take it off camera to see what it can really do. And for the entire shoot, I'll keep it in TTL because a flash like this is meant to be fast, mobile, and ready for anything. For the first test, we took it to a park and took some pictures with Renis as he was skating away. We had the midday sun shooting on high-speed sync, and we had the exposure locked in TTL. The flash was very responsive and easy to handle. It was recycling pretty fast, and it gives me the confidence it can be used in any run-and-gun situation. The high-speed syncs worked great, and the TTL exposure was very consistent. So today we're gonna take some action shots with Renis. We're gonna skate his pants off to be more dynamic. Also, I'm gonna follow him with one wheel. I have the flash on camera on TTL. I'm not gonna make any adjustments. I'll keep it on no exposure compensations to see how it does. So we took some action shots on motion with Renis. Now I'm trying to see how the high-speed sync works. I'm at 1/2500 a second at f1.4. I have the flash on high-speed sync. I like how light it is on camera and how easy it is to make any modification on the flash because all this interactive touch screen it has on the back, and we're gonna see how it works. I like how the light fall off on these flashes and how natural it looks. It blends very nice with the ambient, and I think because of sheer size, it's meant to be on camera. After using this flash on this session with Renis, the TTL works amazingly well. The light quality is super nice. It works for action, it works for field light, it works on high-speed sync, and it's a joy to use because it's so light on camera. The V1 Mid is built around the Godox optical system, which combines a refined light source with an optimized lens that shapes the light before it leaves the flash head. In practice, that means smoother light, more even coverage, and more natural looking illumination across the frame, something you really notice when you're shooting portraits. The light is very flattering. The flash itself stays super compact and is balanced on the camera because it's small. It weighs only like 413 grams with the battery, and it's light enough to carry all day, making it a great fit for events, weddings, portraits, and on-location work where mobility matters all the time. Performance is super solid. The battery delivers around 650 full power flashes with a recycle time of about 1.7 seconds. So this flash can keep up with everything you are shooting. The head rotates 330 degrees horizontally and tilts from -7 to 120 degrees, giving you plenty of flexibility for a bounce sliding when you need it. The V1 Mid supports TTL, manual, and multi-flash modes along with high-speed sync up to 1/8000 of a second, plus first and rear curtain sync. Flash duration ranges from 1/600 down to 1/20,000 of a second. It helps you freeze any kind of motions. Wireless controls handle it through the built-in 2.4 GHz radio system with a range of about 70 meters, supporting multiple groups and 32 channels for reliable off-camera setups. You also get a 2-watt modeling lamp, a responsive touchscreen interface, and USB-C charging, making the adjustments and the power management very quick and convenient during a shoot or when you want to make any changes. It works with the AK-R1 magnetic modifiers kit, and also if you want to use it with the sub boxes, you have to use an S3 bracket to attach it to any bones system you might want. So now let's test the flash in a situation where most small flashes fall apart. Off camera, I have the V1 Mid on a stand with the shoot-through umbrella. We have Lydia. I have the flash in TTL, no exposure compensation, just to see how it works. I have the zoom head set on a manual mode, 24 millimeters, so it spreads and fills a little bit the shoot-through umbrella better. Right off the bat, I can say that the exposure on her face is spot on. It's not overexposed. I don't see any hot spots. I'll shoot some pictures randomly, just moving from side to side. I'm gonna change the 35 to 50 millimeters to an 85 millimeter lens, just to give some variety and see how the lens changes will affect the exposure. These pictures, I have the TTL metering the right exposure. Of course, that is. Of course, if you want to fine tune it, you can just dial in and out, taking a couple of tenths of a step. But I didn't. I just kept it on zero exposure compensation just to see how it works. And he works flawlessly. I mean, every single picture, it looks perfect exposed. And I think it's super usable. If you want to use the TTL, I don't see any problems just going shotgun like this. Vertical. It's just insane how nice it works. It's a small flash, and I think it works better with a shoot-through umbrella because the diameter of the head is a little bit smaller. And if you try to use some of these magnetic softboxes, I think it's a little bit loose. With an umbrella, it works really nice, and also it makes a smaller and compact lighting setup. The interface on the flash is very easy to understand. You can choose right away between a flash on camera, a sender, when you can use it as a transmitter to trigger other flashes or make adjustments on the other compatible flashes. And this is as a receiver when you use it as off-camera flash. You can get your main menu here to make different changes, but usually this for me they are not important. On wireless, you just choose your channel. On the main menu here with the flash on camera, you can adjust your exposure compensation just sliding your finger, or you can highlight the parameter you want to change, and you make the changes via the rotating dial. You press one more time. When it's white, that means you can choose a different parameter to change. Now I highlight the TTL. I can go to manual or TTL back. Here on the screen it shows that the head of the flash is extended. I am a high-speed sync, and I have the beep on, so I know when the flash is recycling. Very easy, very intuitive, very simple to understand how this works. So who can benefit from this flash, or for who this flash is for? If you are starting out, this is a solid investment because you will never outgrow it. Being able to use it off camera as a receiver, on camera, or as a transmitter to remote control and trigger other flashes, it makes this flash super versatile. For a seasoned shooter, the ability to have a very light flash on your camera with fluttering light and a battery able to go for 600 full power pops is golden. It will not replace a full-size flash, but if you need mobility, I will take it anytime over the V100. And in case you are wondering what is the power difference between the Mid and the V100, it is 1.1 stops. You might get tricked by the name and the shape on believing the Mid is close to V1 series, but it has a twin brother with different haircut as the V480V. The bodies and interface are exactly the same, just the head design is different, and the modeling light is on the body on the V480 and in the head on the V1 Mid. The V480 has a little bit more power output due to the Fresnel lens design of the head, but the V1 Mid has a better light spread and fall off. Both flashes are super versatile and either one will do you good. After a full session of action, portraits and bounce flash, the V1 Mid perform great on camera. TTL was reliable, adjustments are quick, and overall it's a very capable flash when you want speed and mobility. I highly recommend this flash for anybody who's interested. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please check out my channel for more lighting tutorials and gear reviews. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.